All right, so you got some Christmas money and you're trying to decide what optic to go with. You got a budget to work with still. I think the Discovery 525 is a nice option for a budget optic. The reasons that I've said in so many videos, but just to give you a brief, it does have a 25-yard parallax. You do have side illumination, oversized knobs. You can go from 5 to 25 power. You have a reticle with Christmas tree and stadia that go out pretty good. So if you like to hold for a windage draw, or you like the idea, you want to get into that and try it out, that's awesome. With a 56mm objective, light collection is very good. I like the balance of this because it actually is fairly heavy and it balances out my little rifle. This isn't very big, but it balances my whole rifle out with just putting the optic on there, which is super cool. And additionally, from there, you have ED glass. So ED glass is important. Better and better resolution is kind of, I don't know, it's just the direction everything's going. And so to see an optic like this at this price point with better resolution than a lot of the competitors at the price point is nice to see. So I like the 525. I've put it on this E. Arthur Brown barreled 1022. It's actually a BCA 201, not quite a 1022, but compatible, we'll say. And I've got the barrel tuner, the Lowey barrel tuner on here that was sent out by E. Arthur Brown Company. The barrel itself can shoot match ammo amazingly, but I was like, man, I wonder if I can get some of these other ammos that are, you know, a little under match. They're not quite up to that standard of some of the Ely, some of the Lapua. I wonder if I can get those to group well, because for this rifle, I can get SK long range. I can shoot that stuff incredibly well. That shoots really good. I've actually updated kind of my zeroing process to starting with that ammo with this. Any optic I change around, put on here, because it shoots so incredibly well. But I don't want to spend that much money all the time. But if I just want to go plinker, I'm helping somebody practice or getting into the sport, that barrel tuner is really going to help. And I want to be able to see my target well. So I've got the Discovery 5 to 25 on there, a little bit more magnification than the 3 to 15, which I was previously running. And now I've got just some Norma TAC. Sometimes I found this to run really well in different rifles. I've got semi-auto from SK. The semi-auto I've also found to shoot really, really nicely, almost match quality at times. And SK Biathlon Sport. Biathlon Sport is good. It's not up to the tier of the Lapua Biathlon, but it is very, very good. And it just saves me a few pennies per round, basically. So I'm trying this out today. That's kind of my goal, is I got that tuner on there. I'm going to work on it. And I don't know why I do stuff like this. I punish myself because I find a load, I tune it up good, but I write those numbers down so I know where I'm at in the pattern with the metrics that are both on the piece that mounts to your barrel. It screws in here. You've got a little device on there so you can know how many turns and revolutions in you are. And then the device itself, which threads onto that, has numbers as well. So I'm just writing things down, how many revolutions I'm at, where I'm at from zero. It's kind of like a scope. You don't want to lose your zero for that. So I can go back to my zero for the premium ammo. But without much more to say, I'm just going to get started and shoot some of these groups and see what I can do by twisting it around, moving it around, and how much change of impact or change of group size, which is what I'm really after, how much I can affect using that device. So the gun is not zeroed yet. First thing I'm going to do is bump up my magnification to a place where I'm not having horrible mirage, and I'm going to mess around with that parallax. Nice and smooth dials. I've used this for years. Still smooth. I've already got my reticle nice and sharp because I adjust this fast focus eyepiece. Maybe every few months I'll take a look at it, make sure it's still good, make sure my eyes haven't changed. Okay, so unzeroed, I'm going to start off on the first target. We'll get her zeroed up. It's hitting low. I'm going to use the reticle, which is very easy to read. It's nice and airy. 1.2. So I am 1.2 mils low. Already looks pretty centered up, though. That looks good. Okay. That's with Norma. Sometimes I have feeding issues with Norma. And this action, it's not the barrel, it is the action. Using a Discovery bubble level as well. Ooh. Got a kid, 2-stage trigger. It's very light. Unfortunately, lately my tolerances on this Norma, whatever last few lots I've had, it's just a little too tight for the chamber in a lot of my guns, even matched chambers, semi-auto chambers. It's not working great. It's like really tight in my Jarvis barrel. That one's, man, it's just not feeding. Let's switch over to the Wolf. I don't typically have issues with Wolf ammo. Thank you to Reef Knives sending out their F5 survival blade. This is phenomenal. I think when it comes to premium survival blades under 400 bucks, this is a really nice option. If you've never looked into it, maybe watch my video on that one as well. I have an entirely separate few channels. I've got a few channels, and one of them is called North Knives, and it's all about blades. So if you're into blades, it's definitely a channel I would like you to take a look at and watch. Lots of bushcraft content, not as much on the survival and more on the bushcraft edge of things, and EDC blades, practical wearable blades, skinning knives too. So if you're looking for something else for content that's not just guns, go check out North Knives. And of course I have an A and B channel for guns. Let's try out some of this Wolf. This is match target. All right, new target. Let's see where the Wolf goes. Okay, that's not a bad group. That's pretty good. This is one of those times where I'm not sure if it's worth messing with it sometimes because it's already a 1/2-inch group. Just adding the device on there, I know how that load shoots out of this barrel without that, and it shoots decent, but it doesn't shoot quite that good. I better shoot a second 5-shot group and see what happens with that one, but that's a nice group. Maybe it's worth twisting it around a little bit, seeing if we can tune it to be slightly tighter. That's not bad at all. Okay, this is a really nice optic. The image is really good. I'm only shooting at about 55 yards. I know that's very close, but it's just a nice optic. It's got a nice image all the way across. I don't have to shoot it on a high power. I can shoot it on lower power. Because of the stadia thickness, I can do okay with this in competitions and holdovers that need to be quick. Yeah, it does change things. It sure does. Let's do one more. Actually, I'm going to go this way. Wrong way. I'm going to do a full 10. 11. That's 11. Okay, that's 11. I guess I can, instead of writing that down, I'll remember it through the video. That's 211. Let's see what happens when I move it. 11. Okay. I think that's showing potential. It does move the point of impact a little bit as well in this particular load. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it happens, not always. With the optic, image is still great, but I am going to back it down because I'm shooting from a hot room to cold, very, very cold outside. I don't know, it's like 10 degrees out or something. So one question I can answer while I'm loading up my next MiG. Folks will ask pretty often, you know, when they're switching from like their, you know, HD glass optic, and they'll say, am I really going to notice moving up to an ED lens? And I want to encourage you to always go for ED lenses as much as possible. There are guns that I run with HD lenses, just really standard, and for a long time that's all we had, and we thought HD was the best, man. We just didn't have ED lenses. We didn't have multi-coated optics very often. They're way too expensive for most of us average guys. And so I shot those for years. I think I shot my first time shooting past like a couple thousand, or no, past 1,000 yards. I'm pretty sure I was just using HD lenses. And if I had known about ED lenses at that time, I would have chosen ED lenses. The more that you shoot, the more that you notice stuff like this. And so yes, the 5-25 is a considerable step up from the 6-24 or the 4-24. I do get comments on that. I get emails on that actually almost every week now that I think of it. It comes in very often. Yes, you're going to notice if you're shooting more and more. If you've looked through scopes like 7 times, yeah, you're probably okay with going with the HD if you're just going to be a real occasional shooter, maybe a hunter, plinker. You don't need to spend the money, and Discovery and other brands have HD options that are really reasonable, and they have great internals. Sometimes it's the same internals in a scope as far as the tracking trueness and the style or the placement of lenses and elements. Sometimes that'll all be the same, but the quality of the lenses could be different. And this is an example where the HD model of the 6-24, the HD 6-24, it's one of Discovery's best-selling scopes from what I understand. And I know that I happen to have sold a lot of those. They're really great optics. I've shot them past 1,000 yards. I love the reticle, actually. I think that might be one of my favorite Discovery reticles is in that 6-24 HD. But when you get to the ED-PRS, it is a little bit more refined. It just feels different. It is set up slightly different than the HD, and you're going to notice that the fit and finish is uniquely different than the HD. There is some changes in those things. I think the tolerance is probably a little bit better, would be my guess, but for sure the lens is. So are you going to notice? Yeah, I think so. The same can be said for, should I upgrade my barrel? It's another thing I seem to get constant questions on, especially with the 1022 crowd, and I'm glad that you are. And my answer would be yes, you probably will notice an upgrade in the barrel if your fundamentals are good and you're shooting in non-windy conditions especially. Right now it's not terribly windy out. I think it's like 5 to 7. That's enough to push 22 around at 100 yards a good bit. But if I look at my group size from a stock 1022 barrel, those are hit and miss, guys. I've seen some that seem to perform like kind of admirably, and I think, hey, that's not too bad. Usually they're target models. But then you have your standard 1022s or the standard BCA 201 that I took the barrel off of here. Those are just not going to perform on the level of even a $300 or $400 barrel. You can go to E. Arthur Brown and get some of their match barrels or accuracy-based barrels, their ultra match barrel. You are going to notice that, but you're also going to be changing your ammo. So there's like multiple things that go along with each other. When you switch from your stock rifle and you start adjusting things, you start putting on better optics, better glass, better triggers and all this. All these components add together with a better skill set, which is what you need to bring to it. So there's 2 components. There's precision, that's the repeatability of your system, and then there's accuracy, and that's what you bring when you're using that system. Can you shoot that precise rifle accurately? And so 2 of them got to work together. You can't just buy your way into a better performing rifle that's going to shoot well for you every time. You have to bring a component to that as well and some knowledge. And so just want to throw that out there for folks who are thinking about upgrading barrels, going with a tuner for ammo, getting into better optics, better triggers, that sort of thing. You really need to think about what you're doing, what you're getting into, why you're doing it. And then, yes, make an educated decision about, I'm getting this because I think it's going to change this. and I'm going to use it this way. So don't just get it because you saw a YouTuber do it. Actually think about how you use your guns and then make an educated decision and put in some work. You're going to be much happier. You'll have pride of ownership in your tools. Like I got a great pride of ownership in these things. I love that barrel. I think the barrel tuner is great. Love my chassis and trigger, and the optic is doing so well. I have a pride of ownership in there, but above that, I feel like you could hand me someone else's rifle, and as long as it's, you know, straight barrel and an okay optic, I could shoot that one okay too. So work more on your fundamentals than anything else, and then you can start upgrading these other tools, and you're going to be really happy with a performance increase. I think you'll notice. All right, backing the optic down to 10 power, it has helped reduce the mirage sufficiently. My room has just gotten so hot with this wood stove behind me. Really needed to drop it down. Okay, went too far. Yep, went too far with that one. Now it is non-beneficial. I'm actually going to take a second off camera, adjust this back down to where I was, shoot a couple groups. I think I found a setting that it likes, and then I went too far, and now I'm going to go back. Instead of continuing on, I think I'm going to be pretty content with around that, 3/8 to 1/2 inch size 5-shot group. That's actually quite good for me with this barrel, this ammo. The center dot on this reticle is sufficient that I can use it on lower powers, which is another thing I value about the optic. I do need to be able to see that center dot and contrast well. Really briefly, I want to talk you through something. Here's what it looks like with no tuner on there. Not great. It's probably it's 3/4 of an inch. That's with no tuner at all with the Wolf. I put the tuner on, started doing some cranking around, and yep, not good. So not good on that setting. Don't worry about this. This was zeroing the optic actually. So I took 2 shots, zeroed it. But then I started working on it. And yeah, not great. Went up here, found a setting that did a little bit better, wasn't convinced of it, did another group, and I had a flyer in there. These are all 5-shot groups. Made another adjustment, didn't seem to get much out of it. But then I kind of noticed, you see this stringing going on a little bit, which I don't think was wind. I saw another string going on here. Vertically though, the drop wasn't as much. It was changing something harmonically. Made another adjustment, and I like this adjustment right here. That's again 5 shots, and it's about a quarter inch group, half MOA at 50 yards. So that's a great group. If I had landed this one in there, that would have been really cool. I definitely am pulling the trigger a little funky sometimes, which is what I was going to say about this shot. This shot was me all day. 100% sure about this shot. Should have wound up here, but again, we're looking at about a quarter inch group. So a quarter inch 5-shot group with non-match ammo, guys. That barrel tuner and that E. Arthur Brown barrel, and that Discovery 5-25 are making a really nice pair or grouping. I made some more adjustments. I wanted to see what else would happen. I'm trying to get rid of any little flyers in here and just see if I can get them all to land in the exact same hole. And I made an adjustment, and look at that. I found something it did not like. It went really far again. Another adjustment, did not like it. And then I actually went back a little closer to what my original setting was, and I can see it start to tighten up some. The one flyer is this guy up here. That's me. Once again, all day, that is me. But it gets a little closer. So I'm gonna go back to my original setting, and I'm going to leave it there with that ammo, because I have a lot of that ammo, and I think it's going to group really nicely. I can do quarter-inch groups with budget ammo. Very impressive. Happy with that. So thanks to those brands for sending stuff out, because this performance makes me happy. I'm glad to see it actually does something. There's a real shift and a real change in real time, and it's going to equate to me doing better with cheaper ammo, actually.